What's up, everybody? My name's Mike. This is IMO Reviews. Of course, IMO standing for in my opinion, because this is really all this is, just my opinion on some music. I have better lighting now. I got my lit hat because the review is lit, as you know. God, I'm such a tool. I also have this blanket because like it's really cold in my house. I don't know why, but yeah, this keeps me pretty warm right here. So today we're going to talk about Pusha T's new album Daytona. Pusha T, of course, is a good music artist who actually is now the president. He's kind of moved up in the business rankings. He's gotten cosigns from Kanye West, Jay-Z, Rick Ross, who's on this album. He's quite a great rapper, like very lyrical. Often his topics are about things like cocaine. It seems to be a common theme for him. His last album, The Darkest Before Dawn, had a lot of themes of like religion, street life, drug dealing life, like from that perspective. So I found those to be pretty interesting. It was an album where I felt very invested in the themes. I found a lot of the production to be kind of chilling with like this, kind of sinister intensity that was really great. So I was looking to hear a little bit of more of that on this project, Daytona. First thing I want to say about this album is it's got bars. Bars. Fucking bars. I mean, really, like, this has more bars than a college town.
You know that's not funny. Just do the review!
Whatever, future me. What do you know? This is, like, without a doubt, some of the most clever lyrics, like, I've heard from Pusha T in forever. I'm just gonna read a couple of them to you. So he says, the game's fucked up. Hitters beats is banging. Hitters, your hooks did it. The lyrical pennon equal to Trump's winning. The bigger question is how the Russians did it. It was written like Nas, but it came from Quentin. At the mercy of the game, where the culture's missing. So like a lot of that has to do with kind of dissing Drake, saying like it's similar to Trump winning, or where like someone else was helping, like the Russians, but in this case Quentin was helping, as in writing, and then referencing that Nas album, of course. Like it's so clever. This is top notch lyricism. He also goes on to say, remember Will Smith won the first Grammy, and they ain't even recognize Hove until Annie. I don't tap dance for the crackers and sing Mammy, cause I pose to juggle those flows and nose candy. Of course, nose candy referencing cocaine, as Pusha T likes to do, and talking about Will Smith winning the first Grammy and Hove not being recognized until Annie, saying that until artists kind of sell out who they initially were, they don't get any recognition, especially in hip hop or hip hop at that time period. And crackers and mammy being like racial slurs that are often used. So I mean, it's just it's bars, it's bars. It's super clever. Oh, I really like this line too. He says, "This thing of ours, oh, this thing of ours, a fraternity of drug dealers ringing off. I just happen to be alumni." I was like, oh, okay. I see you. I see what you're saying. There's another one where he says, I predict snow, Al Roker. I only ever looked up to Sosa. You all get a bird. This hit a Oprah. Like Oprah is always giving out things on her show, I guess, for free. Like, I mean, just bars. It's just bars. I really do have to applaud the lyricism on this album from Pusha T. And also the production. I mean, this is such soulful production from Kanye, which I've come to expect from him. There's a lot of really great samples, such as Comeback Baby, which is one of my favorite tracks on this album. It switches from like this old soul singing, and then it goes into this muddy bass with Pusha T rapping over it, and he sounds so intense on this beat. It's just really cool to hear like this soul and this like sinister side of Pusha T, where he's talking about drug dealing and his position at the top of the game, at least how he views it in his eyes. So I thought that was a really great track for that like contradiction kind of the styles. If You Know You Know was also another one that was great. I don't know what's catchier, the soul sample they threw in on that hook, or Pusha T just being like, if you know, you know, which I mean I don't say it anywhere near as cool as he does, but I tried. That's definitely a very catchy song. I also really liked Infrared. I feel like he's just saying so much about the current rap game. I read some of the lyrics before from that track, talking about Drake and talking about how the Grammys kind of view hip hop, only going for really the records with the most pop appeal to them. And I think he made some excellent statements in that. It kind of reminded me of 1980, was it 85? 19 something from J. Cole's album. That track also kind of was calling out a lot of the newer generation on things that they weren't exactly doing that was very smart of them to do. Of course, he's also got one track with a Kanye sample on it, of course, because Kanye produced the entire album, as well as paid like, I think it was $85,000 for the album cover, which is Whitney Houston's bathroom. I guess that makes sense considering how much Pusha T talks about cocaine on this album and on previous music he's done. But this Kanye feature, it's literally like Pusha T just being like, if they criticize you, what do you tell them? And then Kanye comes in all like, whoop de scoop de poop, like he did on that other track, Lift Yourself. I guess here it's kind of clever to reference that, kind of saying like, if people criticize him, he's going to just keep doing what he's doing, I guess, or he's going to just say a bunch of nonsense. But he actually came through with a pretty good verse after that, basically referencing everything that people are calling him out for now, such as like supporting Donald Trump. Pusha T is also referencing a lot of things that people call him out for in the game. I found this to be a good track to make a statement, especially considering it comes right before Infrared, which isn't really a statement on Pusha T or Kanye's relevance in the game. It's more Pusha T looking at hip hop and popular culture from an outside perspective and now stating his opinion like, hey, this is everything wrong with what's going on right now. Of course, dissing Drake, like I said, which I thought was pretty clever, the way he did it, with that Quentin Miller line, referencing Donald Trump and how Russia helped him win the election, supposedly, in Pusha T's eyes. So overall, I really do like this project. This is one of the more lyrical hip-hop albums to come out recently, which is kind of refreshing. Not that I dislike the new generation. I do really like Lil Pump. I do like Little Skies and XXX Tentacion, artists like that. But I feel like it's cool to hear an artist really just carefully craft what he's saying and be very conscious of that and very clever with, much like ASAP was on his album. My only issue with Daytona is that it's so short. I mean, this is 7 tracks. There's not even one that's 4 minutes long. Like the longest track is, let's see, 3 minutes and 22 seconds. So yeah, it is a pretty short album. I kind of wish I had more from Pusha T because this is some of his most clever lyrics and some amazing soulful production from Kanye, which I think like complements each other really well. And also I feel like compared to The Darkest Before Dawn, that had more of like a concept. It felt more like a structured album. I feel like this doesn't have much of a structure, although it is produced well and written well, as I said. It kind of seems like more of just an EP where Pusha T is kind of stating like what he sees in the game and in the streets he's from an outside perspective, now as the good music president, and with everything that's going on in his life and in the current hip hop landscape. So, not that the statements he made were bad, I just feel like it wasn't a very consistent album, and I feel like it didn't really tie together very well. Though, I gotta say, I mean, again, Kanye came through with some dope production, amazing soul samples, and with Pusha T's just like intense, vernacular where he just grabs you at the throat with all of his like aggressive vocal inflections to go along with his lyrics about how high he is in the hip hop game. I thought that went together very well. So overall, great project. If you're looking for just some fucking bars or some excellent Kanye production and some bangers, definitely check out Daytona. I will give this 4 bricks of cocaine, because it's Pusha T, or concrete, or whatever bricks are made out of. I don't really know. But that's the rating for this album. Thank you guys for checking this out. I think my next review is going to be the new Bad Wolves record, Disobey. I have some interesting things to say about that. So if you like metal music, check that one out. And thank you. Please subscribe. And yeah.